Thousands of people have gathered in Tel Aviv to protest against the government. Among them are family members of kidnapped hostages as well as peace activists. They are demanding the resignation of the entire Israeli government and the immediate return of all remaining hostages taken by Hamas militants on October the 7th. Hamas has been designated a terrorist organization by the US and the EU. Our correspondent Jan-Philipp Schultz is in Tel Aviv, where hostage families are on the streets again. Jan-Philipp, what's going on right where you are now?
Despite the bad weather here in Tel Aviv tonight, thousands have come to the streets. People here say it's one of the biggest protests since the beginning of the war. They demand the release of the hostages, but they also demand the resignation of the Israeli government. At least a lot of the protesters here do. In recent weeks, there have been a lot of political setbacks. 3 hostages were accidentally killed by the Israeli army. The negotiations on a new possible hostage deal have not produced any results. There are news emerging that maybe more hostages have been killed. So everybody here knows with every day passing, chances are getting smaller and smaller to free the hostages.
And the big international news on this story was, of course, the UN Security Council passing a resolution on Friday. What are people saying there about that, if anything?
Since the resolution was adopted, there has been criticism from all sides. A lot of humanitarian organizations here in the region say it's basically meaningless. The Israeli government says it's unnecessary. The military attacks have continued in full force, and a lot of people that I've spoken with here at the protest tonight also don't see that this resolution will bring about any changes.
Well, then just tell me a little bit more about what's going on in Israel then. What do they want from the government?
I think many people want the resignation of the government. They also want the return of the hostages, but it has become more and more political here in recent days. A lot of people say that the Netanyahu government has a part of the blame that this catastrophe could happen and so many hostages were taken by the terrorists. So this is common ground. But regarding the concrete steps to release the hostages, I think there are different voices here. But many people say there has to be new negotiations about a hostage deal, and with the possible condition of agreeing to a new temporary ceasefire.
All right, well, thank you for that. DW correspondent Jan-Philipp Schultz for us in Tel Aviv.